What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and today we're back to talk about Warhammer 40K. In this one, we are going over a battle that is pretty brutal and pretty epic because it features none other than two of the Imperium and Chaos's strongest warriors going at it. On one side, we have the bodyguards of the Emperor himself, the Adeptus Custodes, going against the strongest possessed Chaos Space Marines ever, the first possessed, the Gal Vorbak. These are word bearers who have taken in demons into their body, and they are quite a threat against the Adeptus Custodes. Now keep in mind that the Custodes are the pinnacle of just combat, expertise, strength, tactics, anything that the Imperium puts out. These guys are like the best of the best, except maybe assassins, but assassins are very specialized, where these guys, they can take on pretty much any threat and chances are they'll come out on top. However, let's see how they fare against the Gal Vorbak. So this excerpt that I'm about to read comes from the First Heretic Horus Heresy novel. Honestly, it is a really great novel. I recommend you guys read it because there is more epicness going on in there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see the Custodes taking on the Gal Vorbak. The Custode Nearless used his blade to cut clean the Gal Vorbak's head from his shoulders, but Malnor did not fall. A wraithly image of his helm remained, snarling and shouting in silence. Nearless, a blade master beyond anything Argel Tal had ever seen, had been forced to carve Malnor to pieces to finally put this Chaos warrior down for good. The fight was too frantic for sanity to have any place in its motions. Thoughts and formality vanished, replaced by training and instinct. A blur of blades and claws, the crack of ceramite, the grunts of pain, the smells of spit, of acid, of sweat, of parchment, of bone, of panic, of confidence, of smoky bolter muzzles, of charged blades, of tear salt, of breath, of blood and blood and blood. And then, the first kill. Nearless, the Blade Master. He killed Malnor, and that left him vulnerable. Torgar and Sikar had leapt onto the custodian's back. Chop, chop, chop. They went hacking, using their blades, biting into armor joints at the back of the neck and the base of the spine. A life for a life. Nearless fell, and Torgar leapt away to safety. However, Sikar stayed to feed, and that earned him death. Achelon, the Oculi Imperator. He avenged his brother Custode by slaughtering Sikar in only a heartbeat notice, with a clean, bright sweep of his sword. Argel Tal was on him in that moment. He remembered the leap and the soreness in his throat as he roared once more. He remembered the juicy, meaty crunch as the custodian's helmet was ripped free from his neck. Like a flopping serpent, Achelon's spine hung down from the dripping helm. A dizzying stench of blood, a maddened laugh that may or may not have been Argel Tal's at all. He never knew for certain. 6 of the Gal Vorbak still drew breath. 6 possessed warriors gave their desert dog cackles and ran for the last Custode, with demonic vigor burning in their limbs. And this was the last moment Argel Tal could ever recall, until the air was cold once again, and the battle was over. Synthran pulled his helm free and faced them bareheaded. Instead of waiting with his halberd in hand, he hurled it like a spear. The Gal Vorbak scattered, but it still struck home. One of them took the blade in the chest with a crack like a falling tree. The spear punched through ceramite, bone and meat with enough force to burst from the word-bearer's back. The Astartes flipped over with the impact, his chest cavity stripped hollow, his lungs and 2 hearts blasted out of him, reduced to pulp meat on the ground. Synthran had smiled as the other 5 descended upon him. He considered his vow of silence complete, given the circumstances, and he laughed at the warrior he'd killed. "I always hated you, Zaffin." And with that being said, guys, this is where I will end the lore reading for now. Of course, I greatly recommend you guys continue this by reading The First Heretic. Audible is probably the easiest way to get the books, because I've been trying to get the Horus Heresy novels for a while now, and they are tough to find. But with that being said, guys, this is quite the matchup. It goes to show you that as strong and mighty as the Adeptus Custodes are, they're not invincible. They were going up against what I believe was 10 or 11 of these Gal Vorbak possessed, super crazy powerful Chaos Space Marines, and it goes to show you just how tough they are. I mean, one of them literally ripped the head and spine of a Custode off of his body. But on the other hand, just throwing a spear was powerful enough to blow out the entire chest cavity of these warriors, which have been donned in chaos empowered, power armor, and it just still blew out their lungs and 2 hearts and everything. So yeah, these guys are pretty evenly matched, but at the end of the day, they just got overwhelmed. They did in fact have to fight through pretty much a whole battle barge full of word bearers to get to them. So yeah, 3 Custodes did quite a lot, even though it seemed that they got taken out pretty quickly. But you gotta remember, Custodes are not psychers, so they weren't empowered by the warp to take out these warp entities, since they were being possessed by chaos demons. On the other hand, they've never encountered anything like this before, so they were literally fighting a new enemy with no known background as to how they could fight, and they were taken by surprise, because like it said in the beginning, when one of them chopped the head off one of the Gal Vorbak, he left himself open for an attack from 2 others, and that's how they got him, by pretty much pinpointing the weak spots in their armor. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Let me know, how do you think this battle would take place nowadays, knowing that the possessed Chaos Space Marines aren't as strong, and also knowing how the tactics have shifted slightly from the 30k era to the 40k era for the Adeptus Custodes. If you guys want to see more awesome excerpts from novels, please let me know. If there's any notable battles or instances you want me to read out, and just stay subscribed for more things Warhammer 40k. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for subscribing. Of course, if you want to support us just a little bit more, we do have a Patreon page. A simple $1 pledged a month really goes a long way in helping us giving you more 40k videos, or you can support us directly here at YouTube through Super Tanks. And if not, liking, commenting, sharing, that does a lot as well. And as always, it's been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll be catching you guys in the next one. Peace.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.